Let's try that again. Apparently, someone decided to copyright strike me. I don't, I haven't played any music and I haven't used anyone else's audio. I was just sharing a story about working in Tennessee. So I'm gonna go back to it. So apparently, so we were driving down a back road, like highway kind of deal. There were no other cars, and I want to say like a fuel injector or something went out in the truck. If you're completely lost by this story, I'm sorry. Someone decided to copyright me on my last video. Basically, I'm telling the story about when I worked in uniforms. But we set up a show, took it down, going down a dark, dark highway near Clarksville, Tennessee. And when I say the lights went out, when that truck stopped and there was nobody on that highway, and I won't ever forget the man I was working with at the time. Thank you for coming back and joining me. When that truck broke down on the side of the road, when I tell you it was dark, I mean there was nothing. And it was like 2 hours before anybody came along. And they were nice enough that they had a dually and they towed our trailer and took us to a hotel, and we were able to get a tow truck. We didn't have any cell phone service, and so we had to get towed. Hi, Sniper Wolf King. It was a really long day, a long night. I will never forget. That was the worst working night. Anyway, I was talking about that because I was talking about how when I worked doing that, we traveled a lot. And that job was really hard on me because my husband and I had just started dating. And we were gone for like 2 weeks. And the person I was traveling with was an older gentleman who was annoying. And I don't mean like a little bit annoying. I mean, this man never stopped talking. And we were traveling together for 14 days straight. Hardest trip of my life. But we worked it. We made our sales and we came home after being stranded. But, I was saying earlier, the whole reason I just get reminded that I'm so fortunate to be able to work from home now and to work for myself and not have to depend on anyone else. You know, I have to go out tomorrow because I have to go buy a few groceries and handle um, a little bit of business. But if it wasn't for that, if they delivered groceries where I live, I could stay at home. It doesn't bother me to not be home. I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily a homebody, but I also don't feel the need to go out anymore. Now, here's a question. Is anyone else experiencing issues with their phones? It's weird. My phone just kind of keeps freezing up. So this is what you can hardly see it. I can move it a little bit. It's a rose. And this rose is going to be on the wooden sign that I'm making for my grandmother. If you were here last night, you'll know that I cut all these out while on camera last night. And tonight I'm just, it's called weeding them. When you pick all the extra little pieces out. So I'm going to weed them and put them on the sign because my grandmother's 80th birthday is tomorrow. 82nd birthday. And she's a lot of the reason like that we're doing this social distancing I wouldn't be worried so much if it was just like us because we're all really healthy. But my grandmother is going to be 82, and she has 2 grandkids and 6 great grandkids. And she's pretty healthy. So we don't want to do anything that would like jeopardize her. She also lives with my mom who has COPD. So for their sake, it's really important that we're safe, and because we may need to be able to provide them extra support. Like tomorrow I have to go to the grocery store for them. So it's important that I'm able to go ahead and do that tomorrow versus, them trying to do it. We are at the point that because I'll be interacting with the public, I won't be going into their house or anything, which is sad because, like I said, tomorrow is my grandmother's 82nd birthday. And it kind of sucks because as much as you don't want to think about it, we don't know how many more birthdays with her we're going to have. And I would hate to miss the last one, so that kind of gets me emotional. Let me tell you a really sad story, though. I'm going to assume YouTube is not going to advertise my live because someone struck my last one, said I was playing music and I wasn't. But let me make sure my sound is working. My first time ever going live on my Hello. Cool, we're working. So what I was saying was, so my grandmother has another granddaughter, which I have a sister. If you just joined me, I'm just talking about my grandmother and her birthday tomorrow. So she has another granddaughter that has decided that my grandmother's not, that it's not beneficial for my grandmother to know her kids. And it's really sad because she has a son who's fixing to graduate high school, and she has a daughter that's in middle school. And my grandmother is like the coolest. I won't say that there's not times like we don't agree on things, but I could go to my grandmother tomorrow and tell her I needed the shirt off of her back and she wouldn't even question it. We've been through hard times. There's no doubt about that. But it's rough. It's rough when your family starts to get older. So today is day 4 of quarantine. I've been rambling for a few minutes. I worked a regular day today. I'm going to work a regular day tomorrow. I'm going to go buy groceries for my grandmother. My daughter and I got a giant Mickey puzzle in the mail today. I mean, I say my daughter like she's young, but she's 14. We're trying to find something that we can sit in our living room and do together. So kind of excited about that. We brought in an extra little wooden table that we're going to be putting it together on. I think she's in there working on it now. Posted a video today. Had a few business meetings. Someone asked me what happens if Upwork shuts down. I don't foresee Upwork shutting down. I think that for the most part, Upwork is very much automated at this point. I don't know that there's a lot that anyone really has to do. Um, and that's kind of reassuring. We are pretty self sufficient, which is nice. I think for the most part, a good chunk of people work from home anyway, which is kind of the whole point of what we do, right? But we've spent quite a bit of time today working, and there's not a shortage of Upwork jobs. I see jobs posted every day. I get invitations to apply for jobs every day. There's nothing. I don't see any of that slowing down. I think it's a great time if you're interested in embarking on an Upwork career. I think this is a great time to try to do that, especially if you have any type of office or business skills. I think that right now Upwork is a very booming business, and I really think that when all of this mess is over, companies may start to reevaluate what they have for in-office work. And I say that because a lot of these companies are going to see the benefits of working from home, not only for themselves, but for their employees. They're going to see the benefits of that. And I really think that this whole everyone working from home deal is going to transform the way business is handled in the future. There are a lot of companies that could do work from home, keep smaller offices, have smaller overhead. And I think that they're going to see that they can do that. This kind of forces them into that position. And I foresee a whole lot of that in the future. I think that this is going to change the way a lot of companies view their workforce. In the previous, I think that people may have thought it was possible, but now because they're being forced to do it, they're really, parents who have been wanting to be work from home parents, or even if you're just an introvert, you don't want to be around people. I really think that companies are going to see more and more that this is a viable option for employment. And I look for it to expand. I really do. I'm not going to be on for long. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. But I do want to kind of give a little bit of an update for myself. It is Pollen City in Alabama. You probably hear a little bit of a scratch in my throat. I do have some allergy backup. I don't know if it's, we have to face it. We're seeing a whole lot in the news right now, and it's hard to know what your brain is thinking, what's truly happening, and then what your brain kind of sees, because we're constantly told what symptoms to be watching for all the time. I have had a cough, but my cough it's very loose. It's not the dry hack that we're told about. I've had a headache. I have not been around anyone who has COVID. And I really just think it's all allergies. I have a lot of allergy issues every season, and I don't foresee that changing. Ooh, did I mess that up? Nope. Look at there. I don't foresee that changing. I think that my allergies are going to continue to get worse. If I miss a live at night, that'll be why. I am going to try and keep going though, because I do enjoy not only getting the opportunity to make just a talk video every day, even if no one's watching it, it's also still, when this is all said and done, I'm going to have a vlog of what transpired and during this whole fiasco. I don't know who's watching, but feel free to let me know that you're there. Probably need to make sure comments are turned on, huh? Live chat, let's see. Sniper Wolf King. I did see several people today talking about do puzzles with your kids. Do this with your kids. Did make a video about with like some homeschool tips because I did homeschool for a long time and was really successful at it. Actually, probably one of my most successful videos was when we tried to do that online public school, and oh, it was bad. It was so bad. We tried Connections Academy, and it was bad. All right, so let me cut a piece of this. If you're just jumping on, I am cutting out roses that are going to go on this sign that's on the table. And this is for my grandmother's 82nd birthday. And it is a sign with all of her her great-grandchildren's names on it. Her birthday is tomorrow, and we will be doing a cake and presents through the window, which is sad. Read the story this week where the woman got engaged and she didn't want her grandfather to miss it, so she went to the nursing home and was like showing him through the window. And of course that made me, I'm a big baby, it made me just boo-hoo. And there was the picture, I think it was the grandson was going to the he went and saw his granddad every day at the nursing home and wasn't able to go that day. So what he did was he took a chair that was on the front porch and sat outside his granddad's window. I thought that was really cool. We're fortunate, like my grandmother's in her house. She's comfortable. She's, there's nothing. Physically, she's pretty healthy right now. She does have a sinus infection, but so here's the roses. You can see those better now. So I struggle with gifts for my grandmother because, when you're over 80, when you're over 50, for the most part, if people want something, they just go buy it. And so I always try and come up with like cool things that she doesn't have. I love making gifts. So this looks really cool. Just a little, I'm gonna put another one over here. And then I'm gonna get some twine and tie it up. And I have some fresh flowers that I'm gonna add to it. Not fresh flowers, they're fake flowers, but they're flowers. So how are you guys doing with the quarantine? I don't really feel isolated because I talk to people all day long. We are talking to a lot of restaurants right now that are struggling or are closing down for short term because of the I guess a lot of cities have mandated curfews or have closed restaurants down. That's not happened where I live, but they did announce tonight in the next town over, which is Auburn, Alabama, and Auburn University. They also have a smaller community college there called Southern Union, and they announced tonight that they have 2 cases of students that had classes together at Southern Union. Um, Someone that I know is a professor there, and he posted about it on Facebook. They are quarantining all of those students as well as the professor. And then I made kind of a snarky post today on my Facebook page, and there's a large group of people who want to say that this is all a big conspiracy theory. But one of them, and like I get it, everyone has their own political beliefs, and that's cool. I think that's one of the great things about our country. But he goes on and on about how this should just be battle of the fittest. And if you can't make it, then just die. No. And I said, I believe in taking care of my family. And I've always been fiercely protective over them. Don't play me. Don't try me. And I told him, I said, just don't come near us. Okay? We're gonna do our thing, you do your thing. Because I don't want to deal with you. Truth. I just didn't want to deal with him. If you want to do your thing, that's fine. But you got to think about how many other people you're potentially infecting. I don't even want to go out to town tomorrow, but I don't have a choice. It's the one thing I have to go do. Here's a horrible one. One of the local high schools is supposed to have prom on March 28th. They canceled it. Well, they postponed it. The gentleman who owns the building where they were going to have prom charged them $1,800, and he will not rebook them. He says they get no money back, but he will not give them another date. I get it. Like, it's business. But you should have a little bit of compassion too, don't you think? I can't imagine. Can't imagine the mess that is. Proms. Someone was talking about how horrible this is for seniors, and they're right. Can you imagine? Like, this is their senior prom. This is, senior year is your year. I remember my senior year. My senior year, I wish I could go back and change some things. I think we all have that option in life, right? We always have those things we wish we would have. I got one more set of flowers. And the flowers that have to go on here are not hibiscus. They're really pretty. They're off-white and mint green. And I'm just going to put a few on the ends, I think. If you missed the cup from the other night, hold on, I'll show you. More sandpaper so I can sand it down. Funny video they're talking about. How do you get prepared for a disaster like this? And one woman said, I go to the craft store. My response was, I order craft supplies online. I got a box coming from a company called Glitter Craze, so I can make some more pretty cups. I need to make one that looks like a pencil. I don't quite know how I'm going to do that yet, but my goal is that it looks like a pencil. We'll see how it goes. I'm almost done with this. Still kind of makes me mad that someone copy stroked my first live video. I didn't have any music going. It's just me talking. Rambling, but talking. I said today on Facebook, I was kind of smiling because back when we started homeschooling, people thought we were just choosing the easier option, and it was never about that. But now they're fixing to find out that it's not the easier option. Homeschooling is hard. And while I don't think teachers are going to send home, super hard material, I gave a list of 5 tips that will help if you're going to start homeschooling. Like, have a schedule. Make sure they're still going to bed at a normal time. Make sure they're still getting up. Like, I talked to my niece today, and she's like, I got up at 11:30. It may be break, but we still get up, which I have to get up for work, but my daughter still gets up at she's up and moving by about 9, which is reasonable. She goes to bed whenever she wants to, but 9 a.m. is a reasonable part of time to get up. Go on up, get your day started. Have a series of things that you do every day. That's normal. When you disrupt their lives and take away all normalcy, getting them back on a schedule helps. I say them, kids, adults. I like to be on a schedule for work too. I get up, I get a shower, deal with my hair. I know that by the time you guys see me late in the day, it doesn't look like I've done with my hair, but I have. Make sure I've got something laid out for supper. Make sure I got the laundry going, and then I sit down and get to work. And even when school's in, I have a similar schedule. So, I always recommend too that people who are just starting to be work from home, that they have a regular schedule, because that's important. It's really important that you have a regular schedule. If you don't have any kind of schedule, you can get lazy or unfocused very easily. I know people who will get unfocused, so on days that they have a lot they have to get accomplished. Specifically, one guy, he gets up every morning, he showers, he gets dressed for the day, he puts on a suit and tie, and he sits in his office. Because he said he just feels more focused. And I get it. I have meetings today that I had to be dressed appropriately from the waist up. Still rocking my PJ pants. And some days I don't, but it helps to kind of be prepared. All right, here's our second set of roses. You can't see much here, but sticking to me. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing some sanding and getting this purple and blue cup ready for the final layer of epoxy. I have, one night we're going to do some t-shirt crafts. I have some things coming in that'll, are for a friend of mine. Let's see. I like to use this little tool right here to kind of run over. Oh, that's pretty. Got just a few more roses I want to add in here. These are such a pain to weed out. I really wish I knew who was watching right now. Oh, I love how this is coming out. Hold on, I got one more rose to add. Hi, Amber. Your name looks familiar. Have you commented or been in a live before? I'm shocked anyone's hanging around me and my mumbling. That's really what it is tonight. Just a bunch of mumbling. And I'll be right back. You hear all that crazy noise? My husband is in there video gaming. Oh, yeah. So here's the flowers. Thought they would be pretty. A little different. Do you still do ESL, Amber? You would laugh if you saw what I was having to cut these flowers off with. I can't find my clippers. Oh, I'm so, let's see. Oh. So are you on, what are they calling it? Online education now? Is your school? Oh, did I screw this up now? I know my daughter's, like, they're on spring break this week, but the principal did a live video yesterday and said that for the last 2 weeks of the break that there will be online classwork for all of the students posted, which we had, half expected, but it doesn't really affect them a whole lot because they use Chromebooks for all of their stuff. And then they said if a student needs, of course they're providing lunches as well, but if there is further support needed, teachers are going to be doing, I guess, some kind of live videos support. I don't know if it'll be anything like what I do or what we're doing, like live Bible classes starting tomorrow. We'll be doing Bible lessons and working on that, which I'm kind of excited for. Handy dandy glue gun. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of the jam here too, is this distance learning, which I'm not against it, but I can kind of see why the kids aren't stoked about it. I don't know that I would want to do it either. And as a parent, like, I've done videos about homeschooling because I know there's going to be a lot of parents who struggle. Because, and you know this, the funniest thing I've seen is the meme where it's like, it's 10 a.m. We've had 2 students get suspended, 1 go to ISS, and the teacher needs a drink. And of course they're referring to homeschooling their kids. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. I may need more leaves. I'm gonna do these to the leaves. Yes, 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 yes. Do I have scissors? I do, I have scissors. Are you a crafter, Amber? I craft because I'm cheap. I refuse to pay for a whole bunch of mess. at least, like our struggle right now is my daughter's taking advanced honors chemistry. And it's a hard class. And so she's like, I don't know how this is going to work. We're like, we'll work through it. But see, we normally use, like, she has tutors for multiple classes. So it'll be different for us to not have that support that she normally has. Oh, girl, it ain't nothing to admire. It's just me being cheap. Truth. I'm just cheap. Okay, because this cup right here, and while this isn't perfect, I don't know if you saw last night, this says to her, you cannot withstand the storm, and she whispered back, I am the storm. This pretty butterfly. And then let your faith in God be bigger than your fear. This is my favorite cup. I wanted to order it from someone. It was $40. $40. So obviously I did the smart thing and went and spent like $60 to buy all the stuff to be able to pay for it or make it on my own. And now I have a whole lot of stuff to make cups. I made this cup. And I've got a couple more over here that are like halfway done. I have a Cricut. I use the Cricut Maker. I bought it in November of last year. Probably the best, like, crafty purchase I've made. It's amazing. And I haven't even gotten to, like, truly experience all of the stuff it does. This thing will, like, cut wood. It will engrave. It'll emboss leather. So I'm kind of excited about it. I'm just gluing, like, these leaves to these flowers. Because I feel like it'll stay better. And it just kind of gives it a little touch. Now, I'm good at crafting. What I'm not good at is decorating, which is weird. But I really want my house done in, like, farmhouse kind of style. I've joined Facebook groups, and my house is not there. And I realize I'm just happy that my house is clean when it's clean. It's just not always clean. I mean, come on. Every house has got to have a little bit of chaos in it. Oh, and you said you have 3? Is that right? How do I see the chats? 3. I only have 1. Bless your heart. Because that's a lot to deal with. It is a good investment. I had a Cricut before, so this isn't my first Cricut. I like what I can do with it. I did this shirt with it. See, it says, hold my halo. I'm about to do unto others as they have done unto me. It's just it was a joke. It's a funny haha t-shirt that I made. And, oh, I thought for a second I had put all this on upside down. But, let's see, we're going to put that one right there. I definitely think all teachers should get a Cricut for their classroom. Hopefully I'll be able to show you this sign in just a second as I get these flowers put on here. Let's see, I need a white one. If you hear that noise, my husband is playing a video game in the living room. This is kind of our routine. We have dinner, and then when things get put up from dinner, he video games, and my daughter and I work on a puzzle for a little while. And then after that, she goes to hang out in her room, he plays his video game, and I come in here. Let me tell you, if you're going to get one, get the maker. Like, make the investment. This thing will engrave on metal, it'll cut balsa wood, um, it'll cut flowers, which I made these last night. They're not the greatest. It was my first ever try. But the things this thing can do are kind of amazing. I am currently just gluing these flowers on the top of this board, waiting on them to cool off so I can move my fingers, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you how this looks. I greatly applaud you if you've stuck around this long. I don't know that I would have. Let's see, this one needs to kind of go up. Ow! It's been one of them days, y'all. Day 4 of the pandemic 2020. How are y'all surviving? Or are you surviving? Any tricks or tips that you have? How many times have you used hand sanitizer today? Oh, that reminds me, I gotta refill the one in my car. Gotta refill that one. It's like one of those little bitty ones that I carry in my purse. But I'm finding that using it like when I get back in the car after checking out at the grocery store, stuff like that, is very convenient. Oh, I'm almost done. I'm adding these little fake berries. Oh, we haven't, what, let's see, you said where you're from. Texas. Where we live, we're really, really rural. So there hasn't been a case here. But I anticipate there will be. It's just going to take some time. All right, one more piece of fake leaf, And this bad boy is done. So just a pretty little sign with all the grandbabies, and we call her Mimi. She's the woman, like, I don't know if you had these in high school, or like all of my friends called my grandmother Mimi. And it was just like everyone called her Mimi. Everyone knows who Mimi is. To this day, if I say, hey, you know, today's Mimi's birthday, then we will get a lot of responses from like me and my sister's friends. Oh, tell Mimi happy birthday. With all of her great grands at the bottom. I'm happy with it. It came out pretty. I am, with that, going to go ahead and log off for tonight. Thank you for sticking with me this long. I will be back tomorrow night. Who knows what we'll do then? But remember 3 things in everything that you do. Number 1, you are worth the time that it takes to change your life. Number 2, your life is worth the effort that it takes to change your life. And number 3, remember that you are loved. Good night, guys.